Hi guys, how you doing? My name is
Good.
Abel Carrillo. How many of you guys heard of the Titanic?
Me.
Okay, everybody knows about the Titanic. It's one of the most famous ship in history, but I'm here to tell you guys about the Queen Mary ship of England. I don't know if you guys know about that, but the Queen Mary is still with us, unlike the Titanic. Um, Today, the Queen Mary serves as an attraction, though, not a ship. It's stationed out in Long Beach, California, where it serves as a museum, convention center, and a chapel. Um, the Queen Mary was in service over 3 decades, broke several records throughout its journeys. It carried over 750,000 troops. It was in the war. Uh, in preparation for this speech, I read several articles, did some research on their web that highlighted on the ship's history. Today I will tell you guys about the construction of the Queen Mary, its work history, and the Queen's Mary restoration after being retired. And yes, I have to tell you about its paranormal activity. Allow me to begin with the construction of the Queen Mary. According to the biography of Queen Mary by Neil Porter, construction began in December 1930 in Clydebank, Scotland. During its production stage, it was coined as hull number 534. For they were contemplating on a name. Here I have a picture of two of the queens of England. Queen Victoria was actually going to be the name of the ship. When the company went to King George V at the time and asked him if they can name the ship after the greatest queen in England, which they thought was Queen Victoria, the king said, "Oh, my wife will be delighted. She'll be honored," which was Queen Mary. And of course, Queen Mary never really did anything. So the company couldn't, of course, argue with the king. So they went ahead and named the ship Queen Mary. That's how it's got its name. The completion of the Queen Mary was in 1934. It took about 3.5 years to complete. Um, right after the ship's construction, the Great Depression halted advancement. So the company had to get a loan immediately from the British government for the completion of this massive ship. After the completion, the ship's cost was about 3.5 million pounds, which in today's monetary values is like $450 million as far as money goes. Here's a picture of the ship. It's near completion. It's missing its smokestacks, which were to be 118 feet tall. The ship in width is 120 feet, and length is 1,020 feet. So it's a pretty big ship. The Queen Mary's maiden voyage was on May 27th in 1936, and that's what they call a ship's incarnation as far as being its first voyage. It was from Southampton, England to New York City. So from 1936 to 1939, the Queen Mary made several trips from England to New York, carrying as many as 3,000 to 5,000 passengers. Here's a picture of the ship with New York City in the background. Of course, you can see it's a very big ship compared to the other ones around it. But in 1939, the ship was actually assigned to become a troop ship transporter by Allied commanders during World War II. This ship was then converted from a passenger, which you see here, to become a warship. And I don't know if you guys could tell, but it's now gray color. Everything from the smokestacks to the whole ship, and that's in reason for to make it blend in with the ocean. During the war, this was one of the most fastest and most elusive ships that served in the war. it carried as many as 15,000 troops across Atlantic waters, along with many other ships that were used for the war. But this was always used as a more for sure thing. Interesting story about the ship. In December 1942, it was carrying 16,000 American troops to Great Britain. The ship almost sank when a 92 feet high wave struck it broadside. According to the memoirs of the doctor on board by the Atlantic liners, he said, "Damn ship near capsized, and if it wasn't for another 20 centimeters, it would have." And according to the History of the Queen Mary by William Miller, this ship was called the Great Ghost due to its speed and agility that the ship did throughout the whole war. And of course, the RMS Queen Mary was in service from March 1940 to 1946. She carried over 765,000 troops, traveled 570,000 miles, and it resumed passenger service in 1947. When the ship became one of the most profitable ocean liners for the company at the time, all the way up to 1967 when commercial airline jets became available, and that's when the ship, due to the lack of interest of the public and failure to keep up to the new market, the ship was put up for sale. And as you all know, like I said at the beginning, it is now in Long Beach, California. Long Beach purchased it to make it an attraction, and an attraction it is. Today, the ship is a 5-star hotel. It's got fine dining, museum, and it's very famous for its paranormal activity. It's been on several paranormal shows like the Ghost Hunters and Most Haunted. The nursery rooms in the ship are said to be babies crying, and the empty pools, everybody hears the water splashing. So if you guys ever brave enough to experience the phenomena for yourselves, that's it's always an option.
Yeah, I've experienced it.
Okay. Questions? The RMS Queen Mary has been a triumphant icon of the 20th century for sure. Although the Titanic is more popular, like all you guys knew it at the beginning, due to its Hollywood amplification, it never even made a first trip. This ship made over 1,000 trips, set numerous records, and is becoming pretty famous herself too. So, wrapping up, the RMS Queen Mary was built to become a majestic liner to be impressed everywhere it went, was virtually indestructible during war, and safely carried thousands of troops to help the war, and still attracts today as tourists attract to its marble and history and beauty of the ship. So, any questions?
I just wanted to comment that I've been there before.
Okay. Good job. Did you like it?
Yes.
I
got scared.
Did you feel ghosts?
Yeah. I went for a haunted house that they used to have on Halloween.
Okay.
And it really does scare you.
Okay. And here's the ship in Long Beach.
So it's not gray?
Huh? No,
It's not
they
gray?
painted it again.
Oh.
Back to the.
And there was a war.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You're welcome.